Great. Yeah, Twitch is a web page, so of course it doesn't work, right? Yes. All right. Let me get a little more iced tea and then we'll start. Okay. Oh, let me spill a little more iced tea all over my desk and then we'll start. Thoughts on PUBG tick rate increase? I have not played it yet, but it sounds like a really good idea to me. I might want to go back and play some now. Well, CSGO already had a reasonable tick rate to start with. Okay. To be fair, it's a lot easier to have a reasonable tick rate on CSGO. A, because it's their own damn engine, so it's more efficient, and B, because it's many fewer players and that sort of thing. So yeah. Okay. When last we left off, I had gone through the syntax tree and the lexer and made values to represent both the beginning of where a token starts, the first character and the last character, basically. What line and what character. The line numbers are going to be the same most of the time. But sometimes they won't be for aggregate things like stuff in the syntax tree, like a statement or a block may span multiple lines. So, you know, there's a fair amount of busy work involved in just propagating all these values through the system, you know, making sure they go all the way out to user level code through the messaging system and all the data structures that the user sees. But it appeared last night that we successfully did that. So today we're going to try to actually start using these values, and we happen to know, well, they at least seem to be incorrect even for simple stuff like identifiers, which you would think is a no-brainer. So my goal for this stream is to just get the error report for identifiers to be correct. So if I go back to this bug 174, which has an intentional undeclared identifier, yeah, that was a different test. I can remove that now. Oh. So we don't need that one. But for this hello sailor, I want to replace this with, to start with, I want to get rid of this whole fat line down here, and I just want to put a bunch of up carets exactly under the identifier hello sailor, right? So right now it's trying to use the position of it, and it's still got like one character after the end, which I'm not sure why. So first we're going to make our error reporting take more parameters so that we can represent the whole range. And then I will have to figure out what's going on here. And then later, probably not on this stream, but later on, instead of just putting down carets and stuff, we'll use color codes to like highlight the actual things that are wrong in the output, which is annoying because you would think you could use like standard ANSI color codes and stuff, but you can't really, in Windows, you can't rely on how the console is configured. But there's special Windows commands, I think, for setting text properties when you output it. So we can hard code it for either Windows or Linux or something. Anyway. Any questions about that? Why is there a ball on the window? It's like a brush. There isn't a ball on the window. I really have no idea what you are asking. Commander also has its own color codes, so best to test under command.exe. Well, Commander should correctly output, I don't know. Yeah, we'll try it under command.exe, and then we'll see what Commander does with it. If Commander does the wrong thing with it, that gives us a conundrum anyway, because we need things to operate correctly. Oh, on the window, like the window. All right. So let's just start doing that. So we have this VA list version of error reporting, and right now it takes line and character, and we're going to say L0. And as I was saying last night, I don't normally have cryptic one-letter variable names, but for various reasons I decided to do that this time. So it's line 0, character 0, line 1, character 1. So let's just make that work. And I'm already hungry because I haven't eaten breakfast, so I'm going to grab a snack. Gotta keep the brain going. Oh, do they finally have ANSI color in Win 10? Is it by default? Because last time I tried outputting ANSI to a Windows console, it was a disaster. Someone's asking, is knowing some trigonometry and some vector math enough for a 2D game? Would I need to learn linear algebra for that? Well, vector math is the start of linear algebra, so you already maybe know some linear algebra, so don't be scared or put off by that. It depends exactly on what you're doing. But if you mean you want to have some sprite dudes running around and colliding with each other and whatever, that's enough. Yeah, it's enough math. All right. Are we not using these parameters? Oh, it's just a long function. Where's that coming from? Oh, did I just call it line here, not line number? That's weird. Let me just see. I'm going to compile it and see what it errors me on. Oh, I'm editing the wrong thing. Apparently, I've got two report VA lists. Oh, I didn't save it. All right. Always save your thing. Okay. So many of these, some of the stuff in here is for interfacing with Visual Studio. There's a command line option you can use to do that, or a build option. So I guess Visual Studio probably takes ranges also. So I will tell Ignacio when this is done, and he can say, yeah, he can say, okay, I will make that work. It's got so many overloads of report whatever. I need to just cram it down. Cram it down, cram it down. Okay, look at all these overloads. Okay, well, if I had done that before this, I would have less busy work to do, but I didn't. And now I'm in the middle of this. Now all my calls to report VA list are sad. All right, that's good though. Whoops. So what's going on here is basically just report VA list is a lower level thing. The level of report whatever when it's not VA list takes a higher level construct like a token or a syntax tree node or whatever, or the current Lexer state. And then we just boil that down to lower level parameters that don't rely on data structures, right? So that's what's happening here. And then varargs in C++ are stupid, so, you know, we have to do some things. And again, if I didn't have so damn many overloads here, I wouldn't have so much work to do right now. I put this in my buffer and I line number, character number. Line number character number plus 1. Yeah, that's fine. 1883. Source node L1, C1. And parser 4279. Look, even more front ends to report VA list. It's crazy how many. The reason we have different front ends here, the original idea was like, oh, interp is the common struct, blah, blah, blah. But then it became clear that you want to be able to know when you've declared a parse error as opposed to something else. And maybe you want to signal a parse error without having to synchronize with the rest of the program to do it for some reason. So, yeah. But really all these are doing right now is setting a reported parse error, which is not a variable on the interp, it's a variable on the parser. All right. Oh, let's just do this. Of course, on the token, I called them start and end. Whatever, man. Someone's saying methods, functions, and lambdas are all procedures. A method is a function contained within class. Lambdas are complicated. Lambda literally just means procedure, with maybe also the implication that it has local variables that are heap allocated. That's it. So like in something like C++, they have this way of considering lambdas to be way more complicated than functions, but that's not. Lambda is literally just the snooty functional programmer name for function, or procedure really. They mean function, but then their functions are often procedures just like anybody else's are. So why are they heap allocated? Well, heap allocated is not even that. What it, the implication is that you have variables that will survive for the lifetime of the procedure, right? Like, you can call it and it can return you things that refer to its own scope. And so as long as those things stay live, its scope stays live, right? But that's sort of more a property of garbage collected languages than anything. And so when I say heap allocated, I'm including, the general garbage heap. Lambda doesn't really mean anonymous. Like, it can't, the reason it means anonymous is because it's like if you had anonymous procedures in a fully procedural language, you might use the keyword procedure to indicate the start of an anonymous procedure. That doesn't mean procedure means anonymous procedure. It just means that's the keyword that you're using. Anyway, yeah, none of this matters. None of this matters. It's all stupid. It's all stupid. Like when you're a computer scientist and you talk about the lambda calculus, it's not the lambda calculus because the things in it are anonymous. It's the lambda calculus because they're procedures or functions. So, yeah. Okay, what even am I doing? Oh, we compiled. That's good news. Let's build Sokoban. Wow. I don't like how much longer that took. No, it's still the same amount of time. It must have just been cold files on disk. Something about the refactoring we did lately made it report that parsing takes a lot longer. This happened on my work computer as well. But when you look at the profile, it doesn't claim to have taken longer. So I need to look at that. This number may be wrong. But that's not what we're working on right now, so I don't care. Okay. Blah. Okay. So now we're going to go to report error context. And, well, we're going to look at it. And we're going to see that it probably isn't using this information yet. Oh, is it not called that? Is it called show error context? Show error context. So that's only taking 2 parameters. So that's the next thing. So even though we're taking all this, we probably will not show multi-line things. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's like, why didn't I put these into a struct? I'm kind of wondering at this point. Wait, really? You could easily have... That doesn't make any sense. Well, that works. Okay, less than 0. So we go to the current line. We go to a few lines before the current line, right? That's what this is. And then we start printing out the lines. And then we go to character 0. And we draw dashes. And then we draw the up caret. Okay, so we're going to leave this. All we're trying to do initially is get this to work, to make the caret point at the start. That is now our goal. Of course, people who call this are now passing the wrong number of arguments, so we have to see who that is. Interp 2734. Oh, this has its own error context. Okay. Okay, so we gotta do that, and then we'll compile again and see a whole bunch of people who are unhappy with all of this, probably. C32, there ain't no C32. That's like some kind of cargo carrying airplane. Oh yeah, and I was going to make my overload. That's on interp. So I'm going to make an overload for this. That's just takes a syntax tree node. And for that, we're just going to say, look, bro, we're going to call show error context of asked load asked L0 asked C0 asked L1 C1 suffix short version is just a super dummy stub overload right, and then all these people, let's find out what line numbers those are on. Uh, 1890. Wait, what? Wrong file. Show error context, WD. It. Null true. Asked enum. Site. It. Site. Right. I can cross that off the list. Now, of course, I was just complaining about how many overloads the report error routines have, and now I've just added an overload for a very similar thing. So maybe I'm just making my own problems here. But that feels like a good one to do, right? Oh, whoops, that's my overload that I just did. Is it called load directive? Load directive, maybe. Nope. File name, load info. Okay. While you're at it, print the line number before the caret. Really? Maybe. I know what you're trying to say, but going that rat hole means that CPP functions are not functions because they're not pure. They're not. Function is a misnomer in C++, just like vector is. But it's the common usage. It's a problematic common usage because now that C++ programmers are trying to be more efficient, right? They now have to invent terminology to mean what that terminology already used to mean. So now they say stuff like pure functions or whatever, which really means function, and conflicts with the older C++ technology or terminology of like pure virtual function, which means a member function that's a placeholder slot. Like it doesn't make any sense. It's super confused at this point, right? That's a place where C and C++ people are just wrong. Like function and procedure are different things. right? Function is a subset of procedure. Like sometimes you just have to fix your thing. You got to fix your concept. Quick off-topic comment, the structure of the looping solver is very similar to the concept of resolution and finding the most general unifier. Consysemic prologue tick, if this is already discussed before, I just mention it. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's basically what it is. All right, so we let's run some tests. We haven't done that in a little bit. Okay. Okay, so now we have this situation where supposedly the information is getting all the way to show error context, and yet the caret is in the wrong place. Now we knew this would happen though, so the next question is, why is the caret in the wrong place? Well, if we break and show error context, we can figure out which identifier it is, and then we can step back to oh, I'm probably not running the right thing now. Come on, UI. Tests to... Okay. All right, so C0 is 28, which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, so what is C1 if C0 is 28? Minus 1. Okay, well, eventually I think we're going to be asserting that the end of the range is not minus 1 here, because minus 1 means uninitialized. But let's figure out how far back it's wrong. So here's the identifier. Oh, is this out of scope? No. So identifier's name is Hello Sailor. That's great. And it's 1728. So this identifier, when it is constructed, has the wrong information. That's weird. Okay, so now let's find when it's constructed. Whoops. Okay, so we make an ident. We just don't copy the info over from the identifier, right? Yeah, we're just... being bad people here. So from token, was that what it was called? Set location info from token. The ast is second, the token is third. Ident token. Huh. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting trying to get the right position info on all these things. But for now, we just care about this. Well, that's debug build, release build. Hey, that's nice. Okay, let's go to Lexer, and we're just going to put a space there, and we're not going to put a caret in front of this line because this line, or a greater than, whatever, because this line is not really quoting the file, so maybe that's confusing. Okay, well, I also didn't put my 6 spaces to fill that out. All right. This is already better. And we haven't even done anything, hardly. Okay, now we're going to say if so just as a shorthand, you know, if we get mismatching line numbers, we're just going to put like 1 caret at the start of the thing, right? So for in I equals 0, I is less than num, carets I plus plus. We put that, and then in printf, send out new line. All right. Okay. That is almost like a compiler that actually knows what it's doing and wants to help you find the error, as opposed to this, which is like, what the hell is that? Right? Do we have any specific support for discriminated unions? No, we do not. It's in vague consideration for the future, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, we don't really need it. It's not really a problem. Agreed, but that doesn't seem possible without breaking backwards compatibility. Wait, what? Breaking back what? Changing your terminology without breaking backwards compatibility? Like, just fix your terminology. Quick off-topic comment, but the structure, oh yeah, we already read that. We already read that. Well, this is success already. This is good action. Now, I'm going to check this in, and then the next step is to go through the parser and just kind of try to get reasonable ranges for a lot of things. Some of them will be wrong. I'll make mistakes. But I just kind of want to get it going. And then what I'll do at some point is put in an assertion that people's ending line or character number are not -1, which will tell me when I'm missing things. You know, we can put that in the type checker or something, which is, you know, we know the type checker will scan over all valid code. So I'm going to put that on the list. Assertion range not -1. And then at some point, it's just like, well, how do we test to make sure these are correct everywhere? And some of that will organically happen over time, and so forth. I was sort of torn philosophically on some things. Like when you have an operator, okay, I had originally thought like, oh, when you have an expression, for example, like an operator, like this unary operator, say I'm reporting a type error in this expression. I don't think I want to put carets under the whole thing, not including this bracket. I don't think I want to put carets under the whole thing because this could be arbitrarily long. I just want to put them there, right? But that conflicts with the notion that I want to save giant ranges for stuff like a statement or a block, right? Like it's weird. Like for an operator expression, you sort of just want the operator, but for a procedure call, you want the whole thing because that's the only thing that makes sense. For a declaration, you want the whole thing because that's the only thing that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know. This is going to have to get worked out. Are there better symbols for underlining than caret? Probably, yes. But I don't care because, like I said, we're going to do colors eventually. You wish you could be as productive. It's hard to stop doing anything if you have to work on bigger projects on your own without other, more conscious people. Well, maybe that's a skill that you build. I don't know. Maybe it's a fundamental personality thing. Different people are different. The error message seemed to understand not to include semicolon, but includes comma in the length. You wonder if ignoring comma could just be hard-coded. I don't know what you mean by including comma in the length. That might be an old message that's talking about before we fix the range on the identifier. How do you count tabs? We count tabs as one character and screw you for putting them in there. You shouldn't do that. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess it's starting to get to be time for me to go breakfast and then go to work. So maybe I'll just do a little bit more stuff here. Actually, I'll run some tests. I'll check this in before I break anything. And then maybe we'll just do a little bit more. But this was the basic thing, you know, like I said at the start, the basic thing that I wanted to accomplish was to correctly print this identifier. And we've done that. So now the framework is all in place. With proper lexical range now. People will be very happy about that because this has been so crappy for a long time. It's like, it's been crappy for like 2 years or more since it existed. So it's good to finally beef it up a little. Okay. Set location info from lexer. We want to call from token. I kind of am going to want to refactor this later so that we don't really do. Maybe we pass a token in here and then, I don't know. I'm going to make these lexical range comments. Okay. Okay, a number. Let's do numbers. First, let's make an error involving numbers. Like a int equals 273.5. Right? So, well, and let's get rid of our hello sailor, because that's no good. Got to save the file. Okay. Number mismatch. Wanted int given float 32. Okay, so once again, we have an error range at the end of the token, and we would like it in the middle. So I think we just do this. Set location info from token. This literal, is it called token? Token. Boom. It's going to be huge. There we go. How great is that? How much better is this than that? I mean, come on. Can we generate code dynamically? Why does everyone want to generate code dynamically? If you want to do that, link the compiler as a library and do that. No, we don't support it. We don't want to dump a runtime into your program, the job of which is to be like JavaScript or something. It's just not the right idea for this language. Everyone's talking about tabs. Great. I'm glad you all are focused and on topic. Okay, let's do string literals. I bet string literals are broken. Like, let's just do all the literals and then sign off from the stream. So, yep. Oh, well, we can do right here. Well, let's actually make string literal is the right place to put that. Because we could get a string literal from a token, from a string directive. Yeah. Here, for array literals could be real long. Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna and then let's put literal L1 is token, what is it called? Line index. Line and number end. Character index end, C1. And we do that here as well for some reason. Okay, so string literal. There we go. And now array literal. There we go. Although we're not including the open brace, so let's do that. Why are we not? Oh, because begin array literal must be wrong. So we have this stupid, array literals are stupid anyway. Character index start. Remember this hack I was doing yesterday? Okay. I missed that hack in that place because that's such a weird case. All right. Ta-da. All right, great. Now what? Boolean literals. False. And null. Unary operator. Yeah, any nested expression we will think about a little bit later because I need to think about what to do there, what makes the most sense. So we're just going for like the simple leaf expressions right now. There we go. False. And what else did we just... Oh, null. Let's test that. That's great. And then if we do a binary operator, what happens? Well, that's way wrong. Oh, because that weight is null plus 7 actually. Oh, because that's a pointer. That's a void star. So null plus 7 is actually valid. This is not valid though. Yeah. So that's very weird how the binary operator is off by 1. Okay, so we at least, this is not really acceptable. So let's make sure that we set the position to be the token of the binary operator. So this unary token is binary operator. We already have a copy of the token because we need that. Okay. Let's see what happens there. Okay, that's better. And then we can think later about if it's weird that this is an exception. Okay, well, let's try unary. Okay. And then what happens if it's a procedure call? That's a little bit annoying, but we'll deal with it later. Because we kind of have to decide what, like, do we want it to say just the identifier on the procedure call or the whole thing? I think the whole thing, but many procedure calls are really annoying. We'll see. This is good enough for the moment. It's good enough for me to go get breakfast. Okay, let's test. Let us test. Bro. Okay. I was going to say, we're taking a long time. All right. I was worried that we made things slower, but we didn't. It's just my computer had to wake up. And then run tests. Bam, 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 bam. Literals, operators get better, lexical position reporting. That's great. Test a multi-line string literal. Yeah, maybe later. Like I said, multi-line stuff, we're going to figure out what to deal with. What if there's a line break in that array literal? We already handle that. What happens is we just put the pointer at the first character. I mean, we haven't tested that yet, but we will. Do I have a family? I am a bachelor at the moment. This may or may not change in the future. We'll see. Any on-topic questions for what just happened before we sign off? On-topic questions. Why are array literals stupid? I mean, my syntax for array literals is stupid right now. That's all. And the reasons why are not really that much on topic. It involves a philosophical decision that could be important to make the right way, and I haven't wanted to commit to yet. On-topic questions. On-topic questions. On-topic questions. On-topic questions. Oops. GitHub scoreboard? No. Why do people work on such weird things? Pair programming with Jimmy Bird. No. Making SmartBot. I don't know who to host ever. This difficult decision. What's the future? What feature are you most looking forward to? That's not on topic for this stream. I guess nobody has an on topic question for this stream. Let's let's just host someone. Man, there's very little like serious low-level real programming happening. This could be. What's this? Live coding tools and games. Okay, well, it's not in Lua, so that's good enough. Our standards have fallen so low. All right, we're hosting. See y'all later. Thanks for stopping by.